Okay, quick. Do you know what the most insanely complicated character to write in Mandarin Chinese is? If not, stick around to find out. Welcome to 5 things you didn't know about Mandarin. Ni hao. Mandarin, or as you'd say in Mandarin, Pǔtōnghuà. Where does it come from? Who speaks it? And is the number 4 scary? In Mandarin it is. Mandarin Chinese is a Sino-Tibetan language spoken by over 1 billion people around the world, most of whom live in China, Singapore, Taiwan, Myanmar, and Mongolia. And literally at this point everywhere. There's 8 billion people on the planet and over 1 billion speak Chinese. Maybe your neighbor speaks Chinese. You should ask. One thing that you have to know straight out of the gate is that Mandarin is not the only Chinese language. It's just one standardized variety of Chinese, given official status by the Chinese government. Other Chinese language varieties include, for example, Cantonese, Hokkien, and no, they're not all mutually intelligible. In addition to Pǔtōnghuà, you might also hear people refer to Mandarin as Handu, but that term can also be used just holistically to refer to Chinese languages in general, including Cantonese, Hokkien, etc. So no matter how you got to this video, I am so happy that you're here. This video is like a love letter to Mandarin Chinese. It's a language full of history, culture, and a lot of fun. Without further ado, let's dive into the 5 things you didn't know about Mandarin. Fun fact number 1, Mandarin doesn't have letters. It has characters. What? Instead of using a writing system with an alphabet, Mandarin uses what linguists call a logographic system. And it looks like this. Wow, that's so beautiful. I know, no wonder Chinese calligraphy is such a popular pastime. But what is a logographic system? Well, in languages like English that have an alphabet, each letter represents a sound. In a logographic system, like Mandarin, each character represents a concept. Think of it like the hieroglyphics used in ancient Egypt. Well, that begs the question, Emily, how many Chinese characters are there? Well, there are between 11 and 50,000 different characters, depending on how you count. Eek! That sounds like a lot. The good news is that you really only need to learn about 3,000 characters to really get around comfortably in China. Okay, well, that actually still sounds like a lot. So what does this mean for language learners? Well, it means that you can't sound out or sight read your way through Chinese, unless you're using something called pinyin. So what is pinyin? It's how you write Mandarin phonetically, using the Romanized alphabet that we use in English. And actually, this is how all Chinese speakers text and type. I mean, think about it. They're not lugging around an 80-pound keyboard with 3,000 different buttons. Of course, they have a way to text and type on their computers, on their phones. And you have the option of sending out pinyin as is, or your phone or your computer will likely auto-generate the Chinese characters that you're trying to target and give you an option to click which one you want to send. Oh, and one other thing that you need to know. There are 2 sets of Chinese characters. There's traditional, and then there's simplified. Why are there 2? Well, the traditional ones are super complicated. So the Chinese government enacted this simpler version of written Chinese in order to promote literacy. Thank you. So if you're learning as a foreigner, you're probably gonna learn simplified Chinese, but it does depend on where you plan to use Mandarin, because in some Chinese-speaking communities like Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, traditional characters are still used. And also you might have noticed that there are no spaces between words in Chinese. So it's actually really hard to figure out when one word ends and the next one begins. It would kind of look like, well, this, like it'd be like reading something like this. It's so hard to know where one phrase stops and the next one starts. It's kind of tough, but you get used to it, or so I'm told. Fun fact number 2, there are lots of gems hidden inside Chinese characters. And I mean that figuratively, but also literally. So you know how I said, unlike a language with an alphabet, in Mandarin, you can't guess how a word is gonna sound based on how the shape of the character looks, right? You don't see a P and make a P sound. You see a character and you have to know what that character sounds like because you've studied it. The cool thing is that sometimes, like below 5% of the words, you can kind of guess what the meaning of the symbol is gonna be just by how it looks. To test this out, we're gonna play a little game. I'm gonna show you a Chinese character, Some are traditional, some are simplified, and you're gonna guess what you think it's gonna mean. Are you ready? Let's do it. Okay, here we go. What does this one look like? If you said gate or door, you're right. Looks like a door, double-sided door. Okay, what about this one? It means dented or hollow. Looks just like what it means. Cool. Okay, what about this one? This one's kind of tough. It could almost be anything, but it means person. Now, what if we put 3 of them together? Well, what do you think? Nope, not human pyramid, means crowd. I guess 3 really is a crowd, huh? Okay, and if I tell you that this character means wood, what do you think it means when we put 5 of them together? Forest, or any wooded area. So simple and so clean. I love it. Game time over. How'd you do? Let us know in the comments. Each of these I'm about to tell you has a really cool hidden story that I just can't not share with you. First is the character for love. This symbol actually has 2 parts, and the top part is actually the symbol for heart. So the word for love, the symbol for love, actually has a heart inside of it. It's breaking my own. That's so cute. Okay, now these are 2 characters side by side. They form a cohesive phrase, which is electronic brain. What do you think it means? It means computer. Cute. And here's the character for star. This one's really cool. The character has 2 components. One is sun, and the other one is to give birth. So the thinking behind this one is that stars are something that the sun gives birth to. That stars are the children of the sun. Such a beautiful language. Fun fact number 3, in Mandarin, you gotta watch your tone. And no, I don't mean that kind of tone. I mean literal tone. This is because Mandarin is a tonal language, which means that the vocal pitch that you put on a word can change its meaning entirely. This is basically why saying ma, 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 ma. I'm terrible at tones. If you say them in this order, it doesn't just mean ma, 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 like it sounds in English. They're not all the same. It means mother scolds a horse. Because each of those different ma words with a different pitch, a different tone, changes the meaning. Fun fact number 4, in Mandarin, the number 4 can be quite scary for some people. That's because in Mandarin, the number 4 sounds like the Chinese word for death. Did it just get cold in here? This is also why some hotels in China don't have a 4th floor. And while we're talking about numbers, here are some other cool number-related things you should know about Mandarin. First, counting in Mandarin is really easy, and writing it is easy as well. 1 looks like this, 2 like this, and 3 like this. Boom! You can write from 1 to 3 in Chinese now. Genius. Although there is another more complicated numbering system that you have to use when you're talking about objects instead of just counting. But save that for the intermediate level. And you know how the number 4 is sometimes considered scary because it sounds like the word for death? Well, the numbers 6 and 8 are actually considered quite preferable because the word for 6 in Mandarin sounds like the word for smooth, and the word for 8 in Mandarin sounds like the word for prosper. And when you're talking about years, you don't say something like 1999, you say 1999. Okay, now this last part about numbers in Chinese is maybe my favorite. I never knew this. Did you know that most people in China can count to 10 on their hands using just one hand, not both? Here's how they do it. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here's where it gets different. 6 is like this, 7 is like this, 8, pew, 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 pew. Number 9 actually creeps me out, it's, and number 10, cross those fingers, baby. And fun fact number 5, in Mandarin, you can turn up. And when I say turn up, I mean go upside down. Well, right upside down. Okay, let me explain. So Chinese New Year, also known as Spring Festival or Lunar New Year, is the biggest festival in all of China. And on Chinese New Year, people typically decorate their front doors with poetic couplets of calligraphy written in ink with a writing brush to express their wishes for the new year. Now here's where it gets language nerdy and fun. Some people will hang the Mandarin word for fortune upside down. Why? Because the word for upside down in Mandarin sounds a lot like the word arrives. So when you flip the fortune character upside down, you're basically expressing your wish that fortune will arrive or come your way. And while we're at it, here's some other cool Chinese New Year's things that you should know about. In Chinese culture, the color red symbolizes luck. And for this reason, a lot of people will wear red on New Year's. Oh my gosh, I should be wearing red. Yeah, this feels better. I feel luckier now. And while we're talking about red, have you heard of the red Chinese envelopes? They're often given as gifts on New Year's or at weddings to put money in and to wish good luck. And on Chinese New Year, it's really common to have a family reunion dinner, enjoy some great traditional food, set off fireworks, perform dragon dances or lion dances. Oh, and here's another cool Chinese New Year fact. This one's great if you're superstitious. During Chinese New Year celebrations, a lot of Chinese speakers will make a concerted effort to avoid this word. Why? Well, it has a couple meanings. It can mean rigid, extremely, or dead. And of course, for the new year, we all hope for a smooth, happy, and long future ahead, aka not death. Well, those were our 5 facts, but before we wrap up, I owe you one more thing. What is the most complex character in Mandarin? It is biang. Writing this character requires 57 strokes of your pen. 57! And when you're writing this word, you actually have to write it twice. So it's biang, biang. So 57 plus 57 is, oh God, I hate math, that many strokes. This refers to a specific kind of noodle dish that you can get in China, and the pronunciation is supposed to mimic the way it sounds when you're eating noodles, kind of like an onomatopoeia. Honestly, after writing this character, you should probably just take a nap. Well, my friends, that is it for today's video of 5 things you didn't know about Mandarin. And if you're feeling inspired to learn Mandarin, then check out the Mango Languages Mandarin course we have linked for you in the description down below. This course presents the standard Mandarin dialect, most similar to the dialect spoken around Beijing. And if you liked today's video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell. In Mandarin, you can actually say bye-bye, but there's another way to say goodbye, and it literally translates to you walk well. So, you walk well.